Today on the XMARGH channel, we're going to improve the cooling on your RZR XP1K and also improve the looks. So we're going to go from this to this, all on the XMARGH channel today. Stay tuned, guys. Alright guys, welcome back. So today's modification is going to aim to do two things. Now, putting on a Turbo XP hood on a RZR 1K is nothing new. You head out to your Polaris dealer, you can buy the pure Polaris or Polaris Accessories Turbo hood, put it together and slap it on, and really there's nothing new about that. Now, what is different is that not only did I want, you know, the looks and aesthetics of having the turbo hood, but I also wanted to have the cooling efficiencies or the cooling gain by using the turbo hood, which is why Polaris went to this hood in the first place on the turbo model. Now, the idea with the RZR turbo hood was to divert air into the radiator behind the intercooler on the turbo model. Now, the same thing can be applied for this RZR XP. Now, the one issue is that it's not a bolt-on affair. So today's video is going to be me going through and actually installing the turbo hood and installing the deflector, the air deflector, and showing you what you really need to do to make this turbo hood a functional modification. And I think that's really important, especially on this high lifter with the wedge mounted on the bumper. You're really blocking, you know, literally half of your airflow heading to your rad. Now, what this has done is I found when you're over, let's say over 45 miles an hour cruising on the trail for an extended period of time, I would see temperatures upwards of 220 on this thing. Now, we can solve this with two ways. One, of course, today was getting some additional airflow inside that radiator to help cool it down. And the other way will be to modify some of the parameters within the ECU. Stay tuned to the channel because that's going to be a video that I have coming up. I'll show you guys how to tackle the cooling on this thing, modifying the ECU and the product that I'm going to use, and show you the whole kit and caboodle with that. But for today, we're going to concentrate on the turbo hood and walk you guys through on how to get that air deflector installed. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so here are the products. So of course you've got your factory XP 1K hood. Here is the Polaris Accessories turbo hood. It's all installed. When you get it, some of the things that you're going to need to do is, of course, put the fasteners in. And you're also going to need to install the grill. Got a couple screws here, one on each side, and then a fastener here. And that is pretty much it. Also, you're going to need to put the emblem on. But it's pretty simple to get this together. It doesn't take very long. I'm not going to show you a video of how to put a few accessories together on the hood. I'm sure everyone knows how to do that. Now, what I will tell you is not only do you need the hood, there's also two fasteners that they give you and the air deflector. So between those three parts, that's all you need to make this work. And honestly, the fasteners, grab what you have in your garage to make it work. You don't necessarily have to buy theirs. Now, I will tell you the part numbers that you will need for this. Let's start with the turbo hood. So the turbo hood is going to be part number 2881467. Now, for the air deflector, this is going to be part 5452630, and this would be the part that everyone has a hard time trying to get to. So let me zoom that in for you guys. So 542630, and it comes as shroud radiator upper. That's what it's called. So this is the kind of a hard one to find. And if you guys were looking for the fasteners, not that I don't think anyone really wants them, but it would be part number 7518936. So that's all the parts that you need to make this work. So I wanted to lay those part numbers out for you guys, show you what we're starting with, and now we'll go ahead and we'll get started with this project. All right guys, so welcome back. So went ahead and we've taken off the factory hood for the RZR. So with the RZR XP 1K, it's a little bit different setup than the turbo. So, you know, you can buy the parts that I've showed you in the first part here, but they're not a direct bolt-on. There's a couple issues. Number one is you have your radiator support bars in the way. You have the radiator shroud that is blocking the air, so that's also in the way. So there's a few things here that, and also you don't have an extra support here to bolt this up. So there's about three different issues when you try, and I'll bring it here, when you try to utilize the stock turbo air deflector as you can see here, it doesn't work. Number one, it's not sitting down. It's not sitting down far enough. We need to grind off this lip. We need to open this up to actually allow the air to flow in. And then we also need to secure this. Looks like we should be okay to secure to the factory radiator shroud or factory, supports. Probably drill and tap those for the factory hardware that I purchased. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get this set up, get this lined up the best way I can, and then we're going to start marking a bunch of things out in white marker on where we need to start chopping. Alright guys, so I did a little bit of measurements, and I went and got some white chalk and kind of marked up where we're looking to cut the deflector. Now, what I've been able to measure is that I need approximately a 3/4 inch cut on each side here, to be able to clear our radiator braces, and they need to be a maximum of 3/4 inches up. So that's what we're going to go ahead. I've marked them off on both sides here. So I'm kind of taking the corners out, 3/4 by 3/4. That's the maximum I need. It kind of slope upwards. So at the back, I maybe only need a 1/2 inch. Moving closer up, I may need 3/4 inch. So I decided just to do 3/4 altogether. This way it's a real nice simple cut. Now, what I've also done that you can't see, let me bring you in here, is you can kind of see where I've marked out here with white chalk with where we need to open this radiator shroud out. I don't want to cut the entire thing. We need to keep the rigidity here, and this shroud does, this is here for a reason. But we need to allow the air to get through once the turbo air deflector is in here. So this is something else that we're going to be cutting out, and I'll show you guys which best way we're going to be doing this. All right guys, so welcome back. So what I've done is went ahead and used a grinder, a bench grinder, with the stone wheel, and this made pretty quick work of both corners that I needed. Wound up going about 7/8 in, and 7/8 in far as depth, and then coming in on the width, I did another 7/8 cut, so on both sides here. And take a look, put this in, nice and tight. It's perfect. It worked out great. You'll know how far you went in because you'll just start to see a hair of daylight in here, just to say, and that's on the other side. So that's about as much in as I need to get, and it fit down right on the rad perfect. It's going to allow me to bolt it up in behind here. But before we go ahead and do that, I'm going to need to get rid of this shroud, this section, so I can get this put where I need to. Now for that, we're going to go ahead and have to remove these supports because I'm going to need to pull the rad back. I'm also going to need to undo the bolts holding the plastic front end here, so I can also bring it out a little bit and hopefully get ourselves some room where we can get something in here to make a nice cut. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, and we'll catch back up with you guys once I've got this done. Alright guys, so welcome back. So let's bring you in. Alright, so you can see the cut was made. Basically what I did is taking the radiator supports off. It allowed me to push the radiator back and then zip tie it around the bar here. And then that left me a lot of room to come in and make the cut that I needed. Cut turned out really well. Let me put you back here guys, and I'll show you a couple tools that I actually used in order to do this. So the first one that I used was a roto saw that allowed me to get in and basically do the rough cut, which ended up looking something like this. Basically followed the contour of the front end here. So after I did that, I went in with a palm sander and cleaned up basically all the cuts, made it look nice. Looked pretty good actually. I was surprised it turned out that nice. Like I said, I didn't want to take too much of the radiator shroud out. I just took out what I think I needed to be able to direct the air back in here. So I think that turned out great. So what I'm going to do now is get everything bolted back up, and we're going to see exactly where we're going to put the air deflector in, and then get that ready to bolt in. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so I have the rad supports bolted back up, and I've just placed the air deflector in place, and let's take a look. So as you guys can see, just fits right on top of the rad. Doesn't even really block a fin. And it's going to be bolted up to the rad supports. There's just enough room to get a bolt down between the actual radiator and the fan there. So it looks like we're going to be good there. Marked it with a punch, getting ready to drill, but yeah, as you guys can see. So it's looking good. So I'll go ahead and we'll get this drilled, get this tapped for the factory hardware, and we'll stick the hood on, and we'll see how it looks. Alright guys, so we've got it bolted in. So let's bring you around and show you. So I didn't use the factory hardware. I actually had some torque screws, mainly because I drilled it one size too big and decided to use the torque screws instead, which worked really well. Don't worry about the little rust. We'll throw some black paint on that. That works super good. Super tight. It didn't go anywhere. As you can see, it doesn't even block a fin. It's just sitting right on top of the actual radiator itself here, just over the lip. So I think that's going to work super good. Let's go ahead and let's stick the turbo hood on here. All right, turbo hood's on, deflector's in there, bolted up. Moment of truth. Let's see what it looks like, and let's see how our modification worked. So I'm gonna try to get you guys in here and shine a light. I don't know if you guys are going to see that. It's really hard to see. It's about 3/4 of the way in the airflow of the vent. Very little on top left, open. So I think this is going to grab a huge amount of air. And like I said, I don't think you can pick that up on that camera that well. I'm trying to get you guys in here a little bit better. Really get you guys in here to kind of see. I think you guys can see the reflector. Just see at the very top there where it's got some blank spots. I mean, maybe you could lift it up a hair, but man, this thing's really going to do its job. It's about 3/4 of the grill opening in there. So, super good. You know what? Let me get you guys adjusted here. It was one of the things that when I had asked, once again, no one had done this before. So maybe there is a better way to do this. If there is, shoot it in the comments below in this video. Let us know what you did. Let us know how you mounted it. Anything that you did different in this video that might help some viewers out, or people considering, putting the turbo hood and making it functional. I'm happy, guys. I think this is really going to add some cooling down the trail, get the temperatures down on this RZR. So I'm pretty excited for that. I'll be interested to see, if I head back out there and see if it's actually reducing the temps going down the trail. Now I don't see this reducing it hugely, but every little bit you can do to keep your RZR cool. Like I said, this thing was running like 220 down the trail at sustained speeds, 45, 50, 55 mile an hour. It would start pushing that 220 mark, especially with that the wench in the way. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video. I hope it was helpful. As always, stay tuned to the channel, guys. We're gonna have a bunch of other modifications on this high lifter coming up this spring, this winter and this spring. So stay tuned to the channel, and we'll catch you guys in the next XMARGH video. Thanks.